Hey guys, this is Blonde Empire. Today I wanted to show off a bit of what I've been doing at home plate. I'm just standing at the front right now. I've got a little suit of power armor there. I don't really use power armor all that much, so this one's just kind of here for decoration. But look at my character today. I did her hair differently and she looks so cute. Does anyone else have this problem with their mailbox? Presumably this is my mailbox. This is home plate's mailbox. But if I put anything in there, I only have the option to steal it back. But it should be mine, so I don't know. Anyway, we'll go in from this entrance on the left. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you first walk in. Instead of having one colors for the lights, I chose to use different colors with the cycling lights to sort of break up the areas that way. It's kind of a dark and gloomy place anyway. There's a lot of mist on the ground, which is really nice, but it can be hard to light it all, so I just sort of wanted to go with it. So first is my chemistry sort of room on the right. I'm trying not to move around too much because I don't want to make anyone sick. Most of the items on the work shelf that you can see on the left, a lot of them I did place by hand. It's kind of tricky when things have multiple shelves. If you go into build mode and pick up the item, it tends to just want to pop it on the top shelf rather than any of the lower shelves. So some of the things I could go into build mode and pop them up on the top shelf, but a lot of them I just had to place by hand. And I put a bunch of, acid, fertilizer, just different things that you would need, and that's all in yellow. And I've used some of the Children of Adam faction flags at the back there as well. So it's sort of a yellow hazardous nuclear waste. Then on our left, this is, see how slow I'm going? I just don't want to make anyone nauseous. This is like a sitting area. It's got some paintings, some beers and cigarettes on the table there. There is a television as well if you have any matos around. I mean, most of the time I just sit in home plate by myself, but maybe you have a companion to come sit here, or you could just imagine having friends. So here's the television there. We've got a little cigarette machine as well. Most of the stuff that's here, see how I've got packs of cigarettes and cigarette cartons in there? Most of the furniture that can contain things, I actually did put a few things in there just to help with immersion. It's kind of, I don't put everything, I don't put all the cigarettes that I get into there, but just a few sort of helps with the immersion of it. So this is this big section here. This one is so tall compared to the other ones. I suppose that might be one of the reasons why it's tricky to light it all the way to the floor in this section. Still looks kind of gloomy. So I've got some posters, I've got some flags and monsters that I've killed, and then here I've got in my neon, it says Graceland. My name's Grace. It's not very creative, but here's the rules of what we do here. Do your squats, wear red lipstick, don't let boys be mean to you. So sassy. So we've got a few things to decorate here. Some of these little robot models. Oh, something's on the floor. Let me just pick that back up. Okay, we're back. So I've got some little robot models here. These ones just sort of sit in your misc if you don't do anything with them. So I wanted to put them there. I used a lot of stuff in here that is in the misc section of your inventory, because otherwise they just sit there forever taking up space, and a lot of them look really cute as decorations. This is a little wooden soldier toy. Well, it says wooden solider toy from McCready. I don't know if there's that many spelling errors. I don't know if this is on purpose. Am I misreading it? Anyway, and then over here I've got some magazine racks. You can see my magazine racks on the left there and on the right. Another thing I used a lot of is these glowing bottles and glowing light globes filled with nuclear material. That's the story anyway. From Far Harbor DLC, there's lots of these in the nucleus where the children of Adam are. Yeah, I use them to light as well. They make such a cool pattern on the wall. And then through here is like this red, it's kind of like a conspiracy room, like you might sit in here and look over holotapes that might have had a hidden meaning, or it's just some kind of conspiracy room. It's all red and talk about aliens or tinfoil hats. And yeah, so I like this section. Like I said, I have put things in most of the containers just for immersion, but I've just got a handful of mines in there. My TV is running. And then the next section I have is like a orange. I've got the nuka, sort of a nuka mixer machine there. And so these posters are great as well. If you sort of look through all the posters, you know, they each kind of have like a different color that they emit with their backlight. So this one is a really good one if you have like kind of an orange colored area. I also used a lot of the glowing beverages in this build as well. And then I've got some of the Nuka-Cola recipes, the different kinds of Nuka drinks that you discover while you're traveling around Nuka World. Here is the Nuka World contest flyer. Just some of these little misc things or junk things that they look really cool. And then on this side, I've got kind of a more old-fashioned looking area. I've got one of these trifold American flags. This one's the undamaged one. I don't know if I like it as much as the damaged one because this one is so shiny. Like the glass is so reflective. But I've got some different Nuka drinks. These ones are like they don't emit light. So they kind of look a little bit more boring, especially compared to the ones that do emit light in other areas of home plate that I've put down. But yeah, there's kind of an old-fashioned sort of thing. You've got the clippings from what Piper wrote about us. I think that's what happened. It was honestly, I did that quest so long ago, I can't even remember. And then Buttercup toy from the quest that has Arlen glass in it. Oh, that one was so long ago as well. Please forgive me. Anyway, here I've got just a little sort of smoker's bench, some cigarettes that I placed in there as well. And then moving on to this blue section, a lot of the rest of this is kind of blue and purple. But here I've got like a little kitchen sort of place filled up with some kitchen supplies. Everyone needs a good colander. And then I've got this workshop. These ones I manually placed as well. A lot of the things on a bench like this will just snap, sort of, you know what I mean, not snap, but like they sort of just pop up where you would like them to go if you pick them up in build mode. But some of the items, like some of these weird little shelves and crevices, it's really hard to get things to pop into there. So you sort of have to do it by hand, not in build mode, like out of build mode. And then there's my tool chest, some of the green paint. Remember painting the wall of Diamond City? How beautiful. And then here I've got, this is sort of where my weapons and armor begins. I love this little spot. It's got a nice little seat. I've put a dish rag down there and some ammo. It's kind of like a place where you would sit and clean your gun. Make sure there's no grime in there to make sure you can get maximum damage. And then I've got my bobbleheads here. I thought it would look really nice if the bobblehead stand was totally full, because I just think it looks nice. And then I've got some weapons. These are all like the special weapons. Honestly, there's so many special weapons and special armor pieces, like legendary stuff. There's no way you could ever, I mean, these ones I haven't even ever used. And then there's a million more sitting in the workshop as well. Armor workbench, weapons workbench, a little Pip-Boy that you can get from Vault 88, and then a tool chest sitting behind it with some stuff in it. And then over this side, I've got one of the armor racks. I think she's wearing the marine wetsuit from Far Harbor. And then I've got this Adam Katz paint job of some power armor here. I actually don't have this one wired in, because I think when it's wired in, the spotlights just throw off my color scheme, so I just left it unplugged. And then over here I've got some Nuka-Cola Quantum and Vim Captain's Blend to sort of light it up. I just love how these ones sort of just make a gloomy kind of eerie glow. It's a really effective way to light an area. And then I've got a little trunk with some sort of clothes items in there and a Vault-Tec poster. And then on the second level we've got the bedroom. Now up here I really wanted to make a rainbow kind of effect with the glowing beverages that you have. So we've got Nuka-Cola Quantum, the green is Nuka-Cola Extreme, then we've got Nuka Ray, Nuka Cola Victory, Nuka Punch, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And then Nuka Love, the pink one, and then some Vim Captain's Blend makes that sort of purple one at the end. I've also got some Vault-Tec lunch boxes. These banners come from the pack, in the Raider section pack. And that's cool. It goes with this one's got like a little pink kind of animal skull on it. It goes with this room, and you can actually clip this in diagonally between those two walls rather than having it sit flat on a wall. I managed to clip this one in just by sort of rotating it again and again until it clipped to where I wanted it. And then over here I've got a dresser. It's got a pack automatic rifle on it. I don't actually like any of the Raider gangs really. I think they're troublemakers, but the pack has some really cool outfits and guns and paint jobs that they use. And then I've got a whole row of little Sentry models and iBot models and little robot parts models there. And otherwise they would just sit in my miscellaneous inventory forever. So they are really cool to decorate with. I think that looks so cute. And then I've got a coffee table. It's got some of the schematics that you can get if you go through the Mechanist quest line in Automatron DLC. Yeah, and then the drawing of the Mechanist there. Just a lot of the misc items. I really wanted to use them to decorate. And then up here is like a storage area. This area it's not got a lot of floor space, so it was kind of tricky to figure out what I wanted to do with it. But I put some of the decorations from the Vault-Tec DLC, like consoles, and maybe this is just part of what helps the power go round in this little house. I've got some bags of cement, just some storage, whole bunch of storage stuff, some irradiated blood and some Nuka Cola Quantums as well. I used so much. Just anything that glowed. It looks really effective. And then I've got a blood bug up there with a conduit through his head. Sorry, buddy. Rest in peace. And then one of the other things that I wanted to point out was on this second floor, it's kind of got two levels to it. There's like the wood over at the dresser is sitting maybe a couple of inches higher than the wood where the coffee table is here. So when I was putting down rugs, the one at the bottom here, at the lower sort of section of that floor, it was popping up and it just didn't sit flush against the floorboards. So what I actually did was I placed this rug for the lower section. From about halfway down the steps, kind of drew the plane of it down, and it looks better like that, I think, rather than sort of sitting up. Otherwise it would be at the same height as these ones. That's a good tip if you wanted to get your rugs flush to the floorboards like that. And I think that's basically it. That's my build. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.